And there are some hardliners in this government that are sponsoring this kind of narratives. They just want to show that they can Islamize this country. They think about Taliban, they think about the Mujahideens, and they want to replicate it in this country. And they don't care what happened. They simply don't care, as long as at the end of the day, there's Sharia, and there is whatever thing they have in their head, and they want to achieve.
Good morning, Mazi Okokondem. It's a great pleasure welcoming you here this morning. Of course, good morning to SM fans, wherever you might be watching now, depending on your times of good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Yes, the latest happenings in the Nigerian House of Representatives, where the argument for the Islamization of the Nigerian state through the adoption of the Sharia law as a national law that could be enforced on all Nigerians was debated. The bill was sponsored, of course, by a Northerner, supported by all House of Representatives from the North, which eventually was countered by the Southern House of Representative members. But then it was stepped down for further discussion in the next sitting. This is now happening before us. The Islamization agenda is no longer hidden. And this is what someone, Ekpa and nnamdikanu, has been speaking against, sensitizing the masses. But it appears the masses do not understand. But now, it is no longer, of course, a projection, but a reality, starting at Nigerians today, that the supposed secular state called Nigeria is just a mere secular state in paper, but an Islamic state, of course, in action and implementation today. Your take on this development, the history of the movement for the Islamization of Nigeria. Your take on this.
I am Mr. Paradeni Okokonde. Islamization of Nigeria is not a new agenda or new ways in Nigeria. Nigeria to be a secular state or a secular nation that everybody has a choice to worship whatever you want to worship is ordinary story. It's a moonlight story. It's just like saying that we are one Nigeria. It's a moonlight story. And if you watch, Islamization of Nigeria did not start today. It started from the day of Usman Dafodio. If you go down memory lane or history, you will know that Usman Dafodio was not only fighting to make Nigeria a state of Islamic state, but he was also fighting to Islamatize, because Usman Dafodio comes with the agenda of Islam. This agenda of Islam, this Islamization agenda is what he puts in front to convince the Hausas, their first conquerors. Now, before Fulani Islam came to Nigeria, every indigenous Nigeria are idol worshippers. That's their own traditional religion. Now, when Usman Dafodio came in, he started telling them about their own gods, that it's not the real God to serve. He bought the hearts of the youths, Hausa youths. When he discovered that he have a much number, he used them against their leaders that were worshipping traditional religion. Go against them and conquer them and turn all of them into Islam and turn all of them into slaves. They thought that they are free. Now, he tried to conquer, little by little, all ethnic nationalities in the north that are different tribes, conquering them. He conquered the main core north and established emirate over there. Coming down to middle belt, he found it difficult. He found it very difficult. That middle belt issue lingered until the coming of white men. Usman Dafodio have come and settled the north before the coming of white men. because he came in 18. He started the war in 1800 and ended up 1804. He have already conquered the Hausas. Now, if you watch, he cannot start that war 1800. He cannot enter 1800 and start that war in 1800. He might have entered maybe in 17 something. At least have spent 10 to 20 years or more than that, which made him to able to gather the indigenous people of Hausas against Hausas. Now, from that period, the coming of white men, he tried to expand. But that time, Kwara and Co haven't been under him until Afonja went and invited them against the Yoruba authority, against the Obas authority, because Afonja was taken for a general manding that territory, because all the whole Yoruba general were in boundary land protecting Oyo Empire or so. Before Afonja went and bring them in and was able to they help him, he captured only Kwara and become Oba of Kwara. Later, they overthrow him and kill him and take over. And the Islam take over. That's how North Kwara became northern part of North. Before it wasn't North. And they established their Islam there, established emirate there. But the coming to down to middle belt, TV and others, Lantan and others resist them. They fought until white men came in. They fought until independence. When Joseph Teka said no, when they want to code them to North, when they want to code Benue, this present Benue to North, or TVs to North, Joseph Teka said no, we are not Hausas, we are not Muslims, we are not Fulanis, we are TVs, we are middle belt. When after the independence, when Ahmadu Bello want to force Sharia, this Sharia on them, they say no. They say, if not so, if you are doing so, we will pull out from North. We are not North. Let us go back to our brother, the Southerners. Let us go back to our brother, the Southerners. The British asked Ahmadu Bello to mellow down, allow them to practice their religion and their culture and the secular law. As time goes on, you know how we do it. And it was this Islamization that led to 15th January revolution, which people don't know. Because some motherfucker have, Ahmad Bello have swear that he put his leg on desert and dip another leg on Atlantic Ocean and be reading Quran, which means he captured Nigeria under Islam. And in 12th of October, we get Nigeria get independent 1st of October. On 12th of October, 11 days interval or 10 days interval, Ahmadu Bello came to on newspaper, pilot newspaper owned by Zik, and said, this enterprise called Nigeria supposed to be his grandfather housing estate. You know what it means? Supposed to be his grandfather housing estate. This enterprise called Nigeria supposed to be his grandfather housing estate. You know what it means? Now, if you go ahead, when he want to carry out jihad war on the 17th of January 1966, the 15 boys of January 15, they heard of it in time. And they didn't heard of it in time, but they heard of it almost to the period that made them to go on that emergency revolution and carry it out on the 15 before 17, 2 days earlier, before Ahmadu Bello owned. And before then, jihadist warriors from Iran have rounded the eastern part of Nigeria from Chad down to Atlantic Ocean along Nigerian Chad Cameroon border. then onto Atlantic Ocean. Because the early people, the early Igbos or Easterners that went to North, they have lobbied them. They have lobbied them with the gift to bring Islam in the eastern part. They say no, they refuse. Because before then, Christianity have hold the upper hand in East. Apart from Christianity, the next religion the Easterners have in Nigeria is their traditional religion, Omenala. And if you want this traditional religion, it was adopted from Judaism, because every way of Judaism is what they are practicing. But now, in adulterous way, which made it to be a traditional religion. But all the whole law they are doing, they drive it from Jewish law, according to the scripture, Torah of Jewish Torah. That's why they drive it. And before Christianity came in, and most of them, at least 40% of them that time adopt Christianity. But now it's more than 80% Christianity. So when they discover they cannot lobby these people with gifts to willingly accept Islam, and the Middle Belt have been a barrier between them and the Easterners, they mellow down and want to carry force revolution on January 17 before the 5 majors abort it. It doesn't work. Then they use Gowon to carry out the law.
Yeah, good morning. Welcome to this wonderful podcast. Now, there have been claims that some individuals are bent on Islamizing Nigeria. Some persons refuted that claims that such thing can never happen, that such thing would not work, calling those who said that the individuals wanted to Islamize Nigeria. But now it is obvious that we've seen a move by some elements in the House of Rep bringing up Islamization of every Nigerians in the country, when the country itself is already divided. Why must lawmakers be bringing up such discussion at this kind critical time? Was the Muslim ticket, was it an agenda for them to Islamize Nigerians? Nigeria cannot be a one state controlled by some people. Nigeria cannot be just a one state controlled by one religion. Since inception, we'd have everybody practice your religion. Why do you want to force people to practice a particular religion? It should never be a do or die affair. You've pushed the people into anarchy. You've pushed them into poverty. You've done a whole lot of them for the people. And now the best thing you feel at this time is to Islamize Nigerians. Nigerians will never take this, and Nigeria will never take it. Tomorrow, now that a Muslim ticket has worked for Nigeria, tomorrow it might be not one ticket. It is possible. Next tomorrow it might be a Fulani ticket. And we are in a country where there is supposed to be a rule of law. We are in a country where we believe there should be laws and then things to checkmate everything in Nigeria. But in Nigeria, if that is the case, some senators from the north sponsored a bill for the Muslim ticket in Nigeria, and the Senate president, who claims to be a Christian, has not come out publicly to refute the claims. The House of Rep Speaker Tajuddin Abbas is a Fulani man. And these are things these people want to dominate over Nigerians. For how long can we remain under this structure, contraption called Nigeria? This is one of the reasons you've seen some persons have come out to say we want to leave this contraption called Nigeria. We want to leave this region. It is not working for us, and it will never work for us. In the midst of every challenges now, what they are planning is a Muslim ticket. Despite the poverty, the hunger, the hardship is to Islamize Nigeria. Some persons before have tried this several years ago. It did not work. So why do they think it will work now? Do they think because the president is a Muslim, the vice president is a Muslim? Other regions can accept it, but the Igbos will not accept it. And the South. Because these regions are predominantly by the Christians. You cannot infiltrate those regions by forcing a different belief or ideology or religion for what they believe in. The Muslim ticket that some of you voted for, how has it helped you? Muslim ticket that you all voted for, as the Muslim ticket not plunged over 200 million of Nigerians into poverty and extreme hardship. Now they can no longer sustain the lies they have told Nigeria on their renewed hope. Universities are about to shut down because of a failed policy and a failed government. Now, all what they could divert all our attention now is to give you a Muslim, is to come out with Islamization of Nigeria. And we've seen pastors who are not saying anything. We've seen pastors keeping quiet in Nigeria. And let's not forget, if someone would have told every Nigerians that today the vice president of the country, the president of the country will be a Muslim, and the vice president will also be a Muslim, most Nigerians would refute that claims, saying such thing can never happen in Nigeria. But now, is it not happening in Nigeria? Are we not seeing that the president is a Muslim, the vice president is a Muslim? Tomorrow, let's not be surprised, the president and co can say, sponsor a bill to Islamize the country. And some persons will still not believe that. I think this is the right time every Nigerians should stand up and speak up their mind. And let's not forget, in every rumor, there is always an element of truth in the rumor. Nobody can Islamize me, can tell me what religion I should opt for. We've seen a Navy man coming out to expose them. Coming out to say some individuals are bent to Islamize the country. A country that is not even united, a country that the purpose of the country has been defeated, a country that is just sectional to two particular regions. The Yorubas and the Fulanis are the ones enjoying the country. The other tribes are slaves in the country. I think the leaders should not put the country up for sale. Because if this thing is truly, if this rumor has been spread is a reality. I think those who came up with this idea would not withstand the country anymore. Some persons will sit and make sure that such thing will never happen. Of all the numerous problems outlined in Nigeria, why should it be a Muslim tick? Why should it be the northern Islamization agenda at this time? Why should they be pushing for that? Why? Is that the reason most Nigerians are Nigerians? I believe as Christians, we have prominent leaders that can come up and say, we are not in support of this rubbish. Because to me, it's a rubbish. It's rubbish. A country which is still trying to please a particular region, telling the Igbos, please don't go. And now, the next thing they are doing is to come up with an ideology of a Muslim ticket. How can that benefit the poor man on the streets? Sorry, is to come out, is to Islamize the country. How can that benefit the average man on the street? How can that Islamization put food in the life of an average man? We need to understand that this country itself is fraud itself. The country itself is fraud. You bring up policies every day, now and then, to distract the people. You come up with policies that will not commensurate the life of the people. It has always been one lie to another lie. It has always been one lie to another lie. For how long can the people begin to trust these people? Everyday story. Everyday story. Islamization would never work in Nigeria, and it will not work. Even if those who are elected in the House of Senate are not opposing it, we will use the influence we have on social media to spread the good news that it will never work. And it will not work. You cannot oppress people and continue to always oppress them. At this point, I have to say thank you and stay glued to our YouTube channel. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, like our videos, share, comment for more political discourse. Thank you so much.